Hi guys, thank you for joining me. So today I'm going to do a couple of sewing projects. I think I'm going to do two, probably. Okay? And first, my son I have made these arm cover pocket things for my recliner. And I'll show those. I'll bring them. I'll go get them. And, but my son is giving me his desk chair. And I sit on a yoga ball, but he's going to give me a desk chair. And I have measured. They have these arm pads. Okay. That are 12 inches by 3 inches. I'm using a broad marker. Okay. And I'm going to make pockets for those. On my armchair, I just used pillow shams, but now I'm just going to use pillowcases. I have, we all have like years worth of pillow shams and cases and stuff, right? So it is 12, the arm pads are 12 inches long by 3 inches wide. Okay? So I want the pockets to be, let me see, what are these? I made this arm pocket thing, and there, a 4-inch pocket's good. So I want this to be 4 inches. And again, on this side, 4 inches. Okay? So total, it's going to be 11 inches wide by 12 inches long. Okay? And what I'm going to do is use pillowcases for this. But I need to add for seam allowance, and I'm just going to add, I'll just add a 1/2 inch. So this will be 12 and this will be 13. Okay? Clear as mud? I think you're going to like this, and I will show the ones I made out of pillow shams. So I'm going to pause this video while I tear and cut these out so you all don't have to hear that, okay? Hold on just a second. Okay, now I have these 2 pieces of fabric, one for each arm of the chair. And they are 12 inches wide by 13 inches long. Let me just double check. 12 inches wide-ish. It's okay, ish. By, well, that's a little longer, so then I'll just, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's like 13 1/4. Okay? And I'm going to do this different than I did the shams. I will be sewing the pockets to this to start. Okay? And I want the pockets to be 4 inches high, but I'm going to flip down the top seam 1 inch. So I want the pocket pieces to be, the pocket pieces will be here. And it will be, this is the width, and I have 12 inches, but this is 13 wide. So I want the pockets to be, come up 4 inches. So I'm going to make this a full inch seam allowance, just to fold it down, and I'll show you that, just to give it a nice big smooth edge. Okay? So, I might double these. I probably will double these. Yeah. So I'll need 4. Okay, since I'm going to double them, I'm only going to make these 4.5 inches to allow for the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I will need to cut or tear 4 pieces for both pockets that are 13 inches wide by 9 inches tall. Okay? Just to have the double strength of the pocket. Okay? And this is a nice quality sheet set. So 9 by 13. And I will be right back. Okay, So I have 4 pieces that are 13 wide and 9 inches tall, folded in half. I folded those in half, and then I'm just working with 1 pillowcase here. I have 2, but I don't feel, and this is all I have left. I tore off the seams, and then I didn't feel a need to tear up another pillowcase. This one is only 12.5 wide, and I'm okay with that. I'll just figure it out. Okay, so one of them, or I'll just change it or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll just trim them all down, you know, and it'll be fine. Because I don't really feel a need to tear up another pillowcase for, well, it looks close to an inch. Yeah. Well, this is a little over. This is closer to 13.5. So I will just shave these down to match this width, because like I said, I didn't really feel a need to tear up another pillowcase. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is pause you, and I'm going to iron all this, trim it all down, get it the same size, and iron it neatly to make sewing easier. Okay? Okay, so I can go ahead and show you this ironing. So this is cool. This is a couple yards of ironing board fabric. So then I always have a portable ironing surface. And what this was, it's a cute story, so that's why I thought I'd show you. What it was it's like silver stiff fabric, and the reason I bought it was to make my son a cape when he was little. Isn't that cute? He loved everything superhero, you know, like little boys. So I made my son Colton a cape. So I thought that was fun to share. So see, I'm not being perfect about this at all. Oh yeah, I got something to show you. So I went and got one off the chair. Let me move that aside. And this is the second one I made. And see, I used the pillow shams for this one. And then I have I knit my arm brace. I need to wear that. I have my remote, a stylus for my tablet, you know. And then in the other one, I have insulin pins and magnifying glass and scissors and all kinds of stuff. Here, I made a sleeve for my back scratcher. I have this bamboo back scratcher. And then I just wanted to show you what I did was, this is a full pillow sham. And then I cut the other pillow sham down, and then I made pockets, and then here I reinforced them. So this is the arm holder I have on one of my arms of my chair. Okay? And like I said, I made 2 out of another set of pillow shams. So there, wanted to show you that. And that's that. Let me get all these pieces out. I'm about out of starch. Need to get more. And there's no need to starch them. I just thought it might help. I don't know. I'm old fashioned. I starch stuff. Okay, so that's one of the, let's see. Those are the, that didn't need to be sewn in half. This is the pocket piece that needs to be sewn. And this fabric tore pretty easily, so that's why I thought it might need double layers. So, this is fun, isn't it? Do y'all like sewing projects? I think I'm going to make, tell me if you want to see it. I have made, just like a shopping tote. And I have seen on, I just saw a Temu haul, and a lady had a shopping tote, and it was one that tucked up in itself into, like it has an inside pocket. And then the tote goes inside the pocket. But, you know, that's like something, I'm uncertain how well it works. You know, some stuff you can never get back in the package. So I thought it would be a little hard to get back in the package. So I'm going to be forever pulling strings off of this as I go. Whoops. And it will just, it'll finally quit. Okay. And I could use pinking shears, but I'd rather tear it. It's easier to tear it. And I'm out of starch. I might have enough to finish this. Do you all make pockets? I made these for, well, you can't see it. But I made these table pockets for me and my sister. It wraps around, and they're 60 inches long. And that's what's under here, if you can see it. But I made my sister a denim one with all kinds of fun denim pockets. She shows it in her craft room tour. And then, of course, I made me a red one. And then they're just pockets that hang over the table. And I have my hole punches and pliers and tape measure and double-sided tape. You know, it's like 5 feet of pockets. You know, so that's handy. Now I'm pulling strings off the ironing board thing. My gosh. Okay, I'll just have to quit. I'll just have to let it go. We're going to have to quit pulling strings. Okay. Now these don't, and that one looks like it needs more starch. Because the edges are curling up and I don't want that. Do y'all like sewing? I love DIY. I don't know how to follow a pattern, but I can rig stuff. I made curtains for the house, and I didn't use a pattern. And then I've made lots of curtains. And then for the house, I've been using sheets to line them. White sheets, because that's just cheap and easy, you know. And then some of them I put tassels on. They're for my daughter. This is my daughter's house. And then she bought a bunch of fabric, and I made a bunch of curtains. So I love sewing, and I just rig it up. That's like I do everything. There aren't many rules in my world. You know. And then one set in the kitchen I did by hand, because I didn't have a sewing machine that worked, and it's just a kitchen window. But I showed my son, and he was like, yeah, that's great. And I was like, look and see how I did that and that and that. And I sewed on that fringe of tassel fringe and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, and get this part. Look here, it's stitched by hand. And he was like, oh my God. Because I can stitch neatly. I've had to do some stitching on some stuff because I didn't have a machine. I guess I've done enough and gotten enough practice that I'm pretty good at it. I might take that set of curtains down and show you. Would you like to see? Let me know if you want to see. And I think the same fabric is what I'm going to use to make a tote bag, if y'all want to see a tote bag with its own little fold-in pocket. And I thought about making a couple different sizes and then making one smaller, and they have a, I don't know what you call it, a gusseted bottom, you know, and then a super easy way to make a flat bottom. And then I thought one thing I could do would be to make a crossbody strap. Wouldn't that be neat? So that might be the next sewing project. Tell me if you want to see it. Okay, hold on, and I'm going to go start sewing on this, okay? Okay, I'm back. So what I did was I sewed around the edge, and I don't know how much I sewed. I just used the fringe to the right of my presser foot. I just put it down, and that's what I did. Okay, and then I did a tight seam at the top. Do you see that? You know, a close close seam at the top. Some of them a little tighter than others, but that's okay. So we've got, now it looks like I did these different, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay. Nobody's gonna see, nobody's gonna care. And if they do, it's okay. I don't care. So what I did was, it looks like, see how that's shiny? Nope, I did two the same. Okay. So see, these are shiny. I don't know if you can tell, and these are darker. These look a little bit darker. And it looks like probably what I did was did a couple inside out. You know, like the back side of the fabric, okay? And that's okay. I don't care. It's just a thing. It's just for my thing. So now what am I going to do? So I've got this. Yes, and that. So I think what I'm going to do, okay, so I don't want wonky corners. I don't want to sew this, you know, like, sew this reverse and then turn it inside out, because I don't want wonky corners. So what I'm going to do is, I do want the bottom sealed. So what I'm going to do is sew the bottom like wrong sides together, okay? And then it'll be just a straight shot to turn it back up, okay? And then I'm going to sew the sides in. I'll hem the sides, okay? And okay, so I'm going to sew the bottom across and then flip it so the bottom seam will be finished, okay? And then that will just be a straight shot to fold up. That won't matter. And then I'm going to hem the sides in just past this seam, okay? And then I'll come back, I'll make pockets, okay? So I'm going to go do all that, and I will be right back. Okay, welcome back. If you're still with me. I don't know, did my iron go off? No, it's still hot. So what I did was, I did it to the back. Okay? So then what I'm going to do is flip that up for my pockets. That's how I'm finishing my bottom seam. I didn't want to do the side seams like that because I didn't want the wonky, corners. So then the side seams, I will just flip back and sew. But since I had to iron these anyway, I figured I'd go ahead and show you. Okay? Now let me get a finger grippy on. Well, where are they? I have 100 of them, and of course I don't have one right here right now. Well, heck, can you believe that? Well, hold on, let me get a finger grip because I can't do this without it. Sorry. I knew there was one on the floor because I always end up wearing them through the house, and I probably have 5 in my room. But I always end up wearing them through the house. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this, but I'm going to tell you something. And the reason I can't do sewing on the video, I can't stand it. I can't stand the sound of it. My sister has done videos with sewing in them, and I can't watch them. This has never come up. I don't know how many people know. No, I don't care. I actually have Asperger's. I was diagnosed after my son was. I went to the doctor trying to help him after he was diagnosed, and she diagnosed me too. And I have sound sensitivities, and I cannot stand the sound of a sewing machine on a video. My God, it makes me crazy. So we're not sewing on video because I couldn't watch it back and make sure it was fine. I'm not a cool ass-bee like my son. I don't have this vast knowledge of, like this vast capacity to know all about everything of my favorite thing. I just have some quirks. I have just enough. I said I have just enough to help him, to relate to him. Sorry if that's uncomfortable for anyone. No, I'm not sorry. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care. It's okay. If that makes you uncomfortable, then I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not going to apologize. Right? So, I can't do a sewing video of me. It doesn't bother me in real life to hear it. Just something, I don't know what it is. It's something about hearing it on video that makes me crazy. I can't. So, now I just realized that this inside is gonna be bulky. So I can't do that, because that will be too bulky in the pocket. So I will just have to flip it under and hem it. Okay, so I'll just sew it like that, because I change of plans, guys. You can do it however you want, but I don't want the bulk in the pocket, Also, my sewing machine, it's a Singer heavy duty. I don't know the model number, but Walmart has them. And get this. Oh, my sister got one too, and she loves it. And they are so nice. It is the nicest sewing machine. I've always got the cheapest, $69 machine. And this one's a lot nicer. And it's called heavy duty, and it really is. Like on this, it got pretty layered, with because this is quilted fabric. So layering it up and folding it and ironing it, it didn't budge. It did not care. And then I just sewed through something. Oh, the cover I made. I just, sewed through a cover, and it did not care at all. Can't believe I'm changing my mind, guys. Isn't that funny? Well, it's okay. I'm sure nobody cares. So, I just don't want the bulk inside of my pocket, So I'm just going to barely roll that back right up to the seam. Sorry to change my mind. I didn't realize. I was trying to finish the bottom seam, because it would have been a nice finished seam. But I can't do that. And that's still got. Because see, the bottom seam would have looked like that. It would have been finished. And, whoops. Got sloppy on the ironing there on the back side. It would have looked nice and finished, but it would have been bulk that I don't want. So I'll probably just do what I said. I'm not going to turn it inside out. I will just fold it back on itself like that to finish that bottom edge. No, not like that. No, not like that. I will fold it like this. And probably just fold this over and then try to do that as neatly as I can, so I don't have a bulk area there. I might smush it in or angle it or just pucker it or something to make sure it doesn't. I don't want it to do that. I want it neat. So I will have to figure that out. It might do neater to do this and then that. I'm uncertain. I will do it one way, and if it's not neat enough, then I will do it the other way. Okay? I'm uncertain which will be the neatest. But I don't want that sticking out on the edges. Okay? So let me go sew these, and I'll finish ironing the other one, and I will sew these, and I will come right back. Okay, update, because I figured out that, like I said, I didn't know if I was going to sew the sides or the bottom. But I figured out, I have to cough, dang it. I figured out that I have to sew the bottom first to get it finished. Hold on. Okay, sorry, had a tickle in my throat. So I figured out I had to sew the bottom first to get it finished. Because if I sewed the sides first, I wouldn't be able to sew the bottom. Also, so I did a short seam along the bottom because I didn't want to take away from my pocket, okay? And to finish the back, just because this seam was bigger, like this is how much, this seam is. And since it's bigger, and so it didn't, flop down or sag or whatever, right? Before I sewed up the sides, I just did a big zigzag along the, let me show you. Let me clean up threads. I'll be picking threads forever. I can't quit. I can't stop myself. And I don't know what to do. They bug you, or you like, she needs to pull that thread off of there. Okay. So I went ahead and sewed that down just so it'll be flat, just so it won't hang or sag or be stupid. Okay? Just to neaten it up, because I didn't, since it's so big and I'm making a shallow seam, I didn't want that to hang down or fold, or I just gave it a zigzag. Okay? That's all. Hold on. Let me finish sewing. Hi guys. Welcome back. See, it's been a while for me, but it's been a second for you. I'm sorry for the chopped up video. I don't know how that goes. One time I made a video of a hair color, and that video has like tons of 50,000 views or something. I need to do more hair color videos, eh? But I paused, and then I came back after I colored my hair. I started out, talking about it, and then I colored my hair, and then I came back, and it was like a paused video. So anyway, so that's how I know about pausing. So what? Okay, let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm usually really careful about trimming as I go. I learned through my work in manufacturing that double handling stuff is a waste of time. So I'm usually really careful about trimming as I go. And now this one I was hurrying, and now I'm trimming and it's stupid. So I learned something on here that might help you. Also, well, let me finish up trimming and talk about autism. Okay, and for those of you that don't know, Asperger's is high functioning autism, and I was diagnosed in 2012 at the age of 42. And like I said, I'm not a cool ass bee. I'm not like what you think of a cool classic brilliant science genius. I mostly have sensory quirks, like sound. Like I said, I can't stand the sound of a sewing machine on video. I can't stand fans. Can't stand some hums and things. Sound is a thing. And when I worked at Toyota is when it was real bad. I asked about getting noise canceling headphones, but they said that they might not be safety approved. They might not be OSHA approved. They might just be noise canceling, not noise protection. So I was on the hunt for those, but then I hurt my hand and I had to quit working at Toyota. But anyway, mine is mostly sensory quirks, like my diet. Like, I'm a vegetarian, but it's not. It's mostly because I don't like the thought or the texture, not because I don't like the taste. Like, the texture of chewing through meat, I can't. And eggs, I can't. And dairy, like milk, you know how it makes your saliva thick and stuff? That's why I can't. I used to love McDonald's milkshakes when I was pregnant, and then my last pregnancy I couldn't drink them because it made that, you know how milk makes your saliva thick? I can't stand that sticky, thick feeling. So my diet is real picky, but it's exclusively sensory quirks. I can't eat soggy stuff. I don't eat hardly any dairy. I don't eat any meat. I don't eat rice or mushrooms just because what it looks like. Like on a pizza, mushrooms look like sliced up slugs. And rice looks like maggots. You know, I'm just stupid about what I eat, or quirky. You know, it's not nothing to do with taste, you know. And sound and stuff like that. I have adult ADD too. Dasha Dave did I don't know. I will share it below if anybody's curious about what autism feels like. Because he just did a real long, like an hour-long chat with a friend about autism. Like Autism Awareness Day or something. He's on the spectrum. Do y'all watch Dasha Dave? Do you like him? I love him. And I did not know he's on the spectrum. And in there I commented that I'm pretty sure my organization, how I like to organize, is related to autism. You know, the classic depiction of a young boy on the spectrum, like lining up cars and stuff instead of playing with them. That's what my organization and my craft supplies feels like. Like I just line stuff up instead of, I always joke that I'd rather organize my supplies than actually make something with them. So I'm pretty sure my organization-ness is spectrum related. Also, I was diagnosed with Asperger's when Asperger's was still a diagnosis. Since then, it is just lumped into all one thing as ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder. But I didn't know if y'all knew what Asperger's was. Now it's not even a term, but I claim it because that's what I was diagnosed as. Even though I'm not but I'm not a classical Aspie. But I like the term Aspie and Asperger's. I prefer it. And so there. And I will share Dave's video below. Y'all love Dasha Dave, right? And he's just great. But he did the most. I commented like crazy. I just commented like, I'm loving every minute of this. Okay, so here, they're done. And okay, I was wrong about, do you see how the sides got kind of curved and messed up? What I did was, you might be able to see, is I pulled that corner down and figured it would just pucker and be like, it would fix itself, just pucker and as it lined out. But what it did was it just kind of made it wonky. Like here, like the pucker, you know, it did pucker, but it made the side not a straight shot. So I was wrong about that. It did it here too. So I was wrong about folding that in and assuming, see, I kind of mitered it and then figured it would just fix itself in puckering, but it just made it uneven. But I don't care. I'm okay. It's just going to go on the arm of my chair. And let's see how big it is, because this needs to be 3 inches wide. And the pockets aren't real big, but it's big enough, you know, for like double-sided tape, a roll of something, or a pin, or, you know, like here. Like this pocket thing on my table is a little big for that, so it'll fit in there. I don't know what I'll put in it, but it'll be just right. I could put my vape juice in it, you know. You know, stuff on my thing that, you know, like these, you know, kind of bone folders or something, you know, that you need, but, you know, like my little thimble thing I could put in there, you know. I don't know what I'll put in it, but it'll be just right. And I don't know how I will rig them to the chair. I might have to use my new Velcro from Temu or something. I might have to sew a strip of Velcro on it. Oh yeah, I was going to measure it. I'm wearing a measuring tape and I'm looking for a ruler. And that is about close to 3 inches, and I over measured, you know, that will fit on the arm of the chair perfect. Maybe I'll put a picture on my community tab when I get it done. But these, I just followed seams on my sewing machine, and I made these 4 little pencil kind of pockets, and then 1 big pocket, and then this one I just did it in thirds. And then those will hang on the arm of my new desk chair, which I don't even know if I'll sit in it. I might have it at the desk instead of my craft table, because I currently sit on a yoga ball for my back pain, and it helps a lot. And I'm going to show you the great thing about a yoga ball too, okay? Can I show you something else, guys? Am I talking too much? Am I driving you nuts? I just felt like doing stuff today. Okay, here. I will show you. And I need to write on the back of this so it doesn't bleed. The other day it bled through to my table. So let me show you why a yoga ball is so great. Okay? So a yoga ball is round, right? And I got the 65 millimeter one, I think. And I have it blown up pretty good. And it needs to be blown up again. It comes with the pump and all the kits. It came with the base, but I find it easier to sit on it without the base. And the reason a yoga ball is so great is, like, here you are. Here's your back and your legs, okay? Now I move it up close to the front behind my legs. And then of course you're sitting on it. Okay. Sorry. But the reason okay, that's a really bad drawing. Let me get another piece of paper. I'm sorry. I couldn't say it with all that going on. Well, heck. I don't know what all this is. Okay. So here. So you've got a yoga ball. I did a real bad drawing to not show what I'm trying to show. Okay. So the great thing about a yoga ball is that when you move it up to right behind your legs, then your bottom, this is your bottom, and this is your lower back, is not on anything. So the back of your legs is what's bearing down your weight. So this tailbone and bottom part, which I have lower back and left hip and left SI pain. So this is not weight bearing. It's floating, hanging off the back of the ball. So that's the only reason I can sit here for hours and hours at a time. I couldn't sit in I was uncomfortable sitting just sewing. But I couldn't sit at a hard chair that long. So your tailbone and your bottom are floating. So they're not absorbing as much weight. Now I know just gravity still puts weight on them, but not as much as seated on a chair Does that make sense? Okay. So this office chair that I made these for, the desk chair that he's given me, which is a lovely, nice desk chair. And I don't even know if I'll use it at my craft table because of that. And I'm getting ready to have back surgery, maybe neck surgery, but I need to ask the doctor if I can still sit at my yoga ball, because it's the only reason I can craft this long. Okay, so get you a big yoga ball. I got mine on Amazon, cheap on Warehouse. And let me know if you like these. Let me know if you make some. Here, this got messed up, so it got caught in the seam, so I had to just zigzag to clean it up. Okay, that's what that is. But I think they're great, and I think they'll be really useful, and I don't know how I will attach them to the chair. I might, this thing on the table is this pocket thing I made is actually hot glued to the table, because tape doesn't hold it. So I had to hot glue it, and it stays fine. Because when you get weight in the pockets, it wanted to slide a little bit. So I might hot glue this to the chair. I don't know. So there, and let me know what you think about me making a tote bag with a built-in, folded up in itself pocket. And let me know what you think about Dasher Dave's autism show he did. It was like a show. He was sitting there chatting with the friend, with the camera on him. So, and like I said, I will have that shared down below. And I apologize if you don't like the paused video, but that's how I did it, because I didn't want to sew on camera. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.